Sorry, I hit the wrong button. My circle is still on the screen. It's still 12.9 by 12.9. Once I put my foot down and it turned green, I am going to just hit start. And now it is sewing me a circle. And if you want to, you can make the circle, do it twice to strengthen your fabric if you want. I normally don't do that. I'll just take it out. I'll unhoop it. I don't even like untighten this because I want this to stay tight, and I don't untighten this. I just kind of like take my hoop out, take my fabric out, put that to the side to get it ready for the next hooping of interfacing and fabric. And then I will go and I will start cutting this out again. Remember, cut close to the stitches, but don't cut through the stitches. Cut about 1/8 to a quarter inch to 1/8 away from the stitching. And some people leave more and then they like cut little slits for turning. I don't do that. I just kind of cut 1/8 of an inch away. And once I finish doing that, I'll cut a slit in the back. Okay, so there's my little scraps. So now I'm going to separate the two. I'm going to separate the two so that I can cut my little lining piece without tearing it and without cutting through my orange fabric. And then I'll just cut up and cut up. And then I'm going to flip it inside out to where my bumpy interfacing is on the outside, because that is what is going to fuse down to my background fabric, to the white fabric that we cut 8.5 by 8.5. And then I'm just going to kind of smooth that around. Oh, I'm sorry that I'm off screen. I'm just smoothing that around. Then I may lay it onto the table or something. I just may lay it onto the table and then just kind of with my fingers, just kind of press it down. Press it down, press it down, down, down. So now I have two different fabrics that I can use to put on my background. Okay, so now we can put it on the background fabric. Now, something else that you could do if you have a circle, you could definitely draw on the circle and put your fabric on there and stitch around it with the regular sewing machine. You could definitely do that. I don't do that. I just always have done my blocks with the embroidery machine, but you could definitely do it with just a like if you had a circle, you could just draw your circle on there, put your other fabric on there, stitch it with the sewing machine and do the same thing, turn it you know, turn it inside out. So there we are. So now my bumpiness is on the outside on both of these blocks. I'm done with the embroidery machine for right now. So then I would take and get my, I'm going to go back to the other side. Let's see. I don't have a lot of room in here. But I'm going to take and get my, I'm going to take and I'm going to get my blocks that I cut, my 8.5-inch white blocks, which are these. Let's bring them back around over here. Sorry. So these are our white blocks that we cut 8.5 by 8.5. Here's our pressing mat. So now we'll just take one of our 8.5 blocks. And if we want to make sure that we get everything in the center, we can kind of like do a little light press. Just fold it. We can finger fold it, or we can hit it with the iron one time. And then we can just reopen it up. And then we can't do that with this because we don't want to fuse it together. But we could definitely do it with our hands if we wanted to get the, but just don't don't do this one with the iron, or you're going to fuse it all together, and that's not going to be good. So our iron went off because it turns off. So let's see. I can't see my little center marks, so I'm going to get my little center marks again. And then make sure that you have the fabric on the right side. Okay, that's the wrong side. This is the right side. And we're just going to take our little block and we're going to fuse our block down to this background. And there you have it. It's stuck on there. There you have it. It's stuck on there. Now we're going to take our other one. And we can do the same. We can get the center of the block if we want. Or we can just eyeball it. It's up to you. And you can just put your little circle on there. You can eyeball it, or you can try to find your center, match up your centers. And then you can just fuse your block down. And there you have another one. There's another piece. So now you have the beginnings of your blocks. So stay tuned to the next video where we'll go and I'll cut some strips and we'll do some of the strip piecing for this to put these together. And I'll try to clean up in here a little bit to make it a little bit better. I'm sorry, I got phone calls and everything. But I hope you've enjoyed this first part of our tutorial to make our quilt block, and you have to watch all 3 parts. Sorry for the confusion. And this was my inspiration that I drew many years ago, and I drew this back in March 5th of 2008. And it's called Vacation Circles #1. That's how old this is. And that's how old some of the blocks were from the quilt. So this was my inspiration of making this quilt. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. God bless. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Stay tuned. Hopefully it won't be so discombobulated the next one. All right. Bye, friends.